Anton is in.
Always. Welcome everybody to How to Polish This Wednesday live video. Shout out to Anton, who is always on here. And I think, remind me, Anton, it's Philippines, I think. So, um, or Thailand, I can't remember, but remind me, Anton. But anyways, we got new products. So, where did I put? I think I have the rinse aid on the inside, but we just released glass polish. And then we have another product called rinse aid. So
The inside?
what's that?
Where is it?
I think it's right in here. Let me go grab it. I think I accidentally left it. Yeah, it's right here. Rinse aid's right here. Here's rinse aid. Now, glass polish is pretty straightforward, but rinse aid is a very unique product, and we launched the video yesterday, so we had a lot of comments of people asking different questions, like, is this is the same thing as H2O Garden Gloss, which it's not, but we'll address some of those today. And, I think a few other comments are things like, oh man, you guys are turning into another company, too many products. Listen, innovation drives business. So for us, R&D is a huge focus for us. And if we can release products that make the detailing process more efficient, or if we can release products that people are looking for, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be here for our customers. So Rinse Aid is sort of it's a unique product that makes the washing and drying process a little bit more efficient. And so that's partially why we wanted to launch this new product. So listen, if it's not something that you want to use, please don't buy it. Use the stuff that you like to use. But after today's demo, I think it will give you a good idea of how it works in the process. I know for me personally, I've started to implement it into some of my washing type of stuff. So it's just so easy that I really like it, and I really like the way it performs. Also, the way it feels on your car is awesome. So we'll get into that. Remember, on the live video, this is very much a, you get an inside access to us. So if you have questions about the Adams Polishes line, if you have questions about the new products, this is the place to ask it, because I can talk about it directly to you guys here. So, and again, I just appreciate you guys jumping on the live and hanging out. I apologize for last week. I ended up, last week was my wife and kids spring break. My wife's a teacher, so and my kids go to the same school she teaches at, so all three of them were on spring break. So I took Monday, Wednesday, Friday off to be able to spend some time with them, and we ended up going skiing on Monday up at Keystone. It was amazing. Just awesome to allow my kids to have some independence while they're up on the mountain hanging out. So good time overall, but leaves you guys stranded with no live, so I apologize. You got questions already?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of jumping ahead. How long does Rinse Aid last as a standalone protection? We'll kind of get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. I can address it now. I give it like a few months. I'd say as far as like protection performance-wise, it is similar to H2O Garden Gloss. Really, the main difference is how you use it. So yeah, I'd probably give it, 6 months probably. But again, this is like a sort of a maintenance kind of product, and it's tended to be easy. So, when I'm using it, I use it kind of every other wash or every third wash. So it doesn't really matter to me the longevity. If it lasted a day, that'd be different. But the fact that it lasts in months is perfect for me, because I know that I can just use it really quick, about every month or so. And my car is always going to be protected, and really that product's going to perform really well. So yeah, that's a good question. But and I would say this too, like it's a really unique product in the fact that it makes the kind of rinsing and drying process a lot easier. But if you're a professional detailer, it's also a great product to implement into like your maintenance wash schedule, because your customer will absolutely notice the way it feels. And we'll talk about. So this car is not ceramic coated. In fact,
I was about to say, K-Ray just said, curious what it looks like on unprotected.
yeah.
So maybe
So
you want to show them how flat it is.
let me just get some. This is like fully concentrated mega foam inside here, and whenever I make my bucket, I like to put the soap onto my wash pad. So that's why I just did that. So fully concentrated soap. And just a quick Joe tip, I like to put fully concentrated soap into my foam cannon. This is not diluted at all. And I'll put the top on, and you'll notice like when I'm using this, I like to dilute it by using this kind of like meter up here. So when I turn it counterclockwise, it essentially only uses the water coming through. And then as I dial this up, it will start pulling the amount of soap that I want coming up. So I have a gallon of mega foam at my house. I fill this up with full strength mega foam to the top. Then I regulate how much suds I get by using the meter at the top. So, and what it does, it doesn't pull as much soap out. So then when I'm done using it, I just set it on my shelf, and then the next time I just grab it and go. So I also have a second foam cannon here, and this is filled up to kind of the 30-ounce mark up here. And I'll show you rinse aid you can use out of a foam cannon, which I think is a really great way to do it. So we'll show you that here in a second. I also have a empty dilution bottle with nothing in it. And then I also have H2O garden gloss, because I want you guys to see the difference of process in which you use H2O garden gloss and rinse aid. But quickly, I just want to tell you guys, I'm going to start with glass polish, because I want to get this glass looking great before I move on to like washing the car essentially. But
Yeah,
questions?
just tell, there's a lot of questions jumping ahead, so just tell everyone to stick around.
Yeah, if you stick around, you'll probably, some of your answers might, or some of your questions might get answered. But also, like if we get to a portion where we haven't answered it, just ask the question again and then we'll address it. So yeah, we're gonna kind of talk about how this works, how long it lasts, especially rinse aid, and then glass polish.
Differences between products.
Yeah, differences between products, things like that. So so starting with glass polish, I don't know if you can capture this, Kai, but this glass has water spots everywhere, and then it has this sort of different style of chrome up here. So like when I take my hand and I rub on this, these water spots are not coming off. Like these have probably been on here for quite a while, and even especially on this chrome piece up here. So even when I rub that, it doesn't really, it's not coming off or anything. So
You want to put your finger there?
hopefully you guys can kind of see this. You can try different angles too. I don't know if,
Yeah, you see it.
when you look into like a dark, like let me see that.
Yeah, you can see it in your reflection.
Yeah, you go stand over there again. Yeah, so you can kind of see these, trying to focus on here, but you kind of see these water spots that are hanging out on here. Might not focus very well because it's in iPhone Live, but yeah, so you can really see those water spots that are hanging out, especially like on this chrome piece. It's really not great. So we'll use the glass polish to address these things. So you can see, now I will say this, glass polish you cannot use with a machine. If you use it with a machine, it will ruin your glass. And also don't use this on tint. And that was a question we got online. I think it's a valid question, but I think one thing we have to realize is the inside of your glass is not getting blasted down with hard water. You're more dealing with like sticky residue and fingerprints. So on the inside of the glass, use Brilliant Glaze. On the outside, use glass polish. And the reason why this has a little bit more of an abrasive as well as some acidity to it. So the acid content in here really breaks down the water spots, but then the abrasive really cleans this up and makes it look perfect. So so the way you use glass polish by hand with I like to use it with a gray microfiber app. Shake it really quick, pop the top, and put about that much on. And I like to get it a little bit more in the corner, like so. And then I like to work it into the applicator for the most part, like this. And then you just go straight on. Now this is about the amount of passes. And what you're gonna see is as I as I first do it, it's going to look like chalky kind of with the polish. But as I continue to work it, it almost looks like the glass polish goes away. It becomes oily kind of. And once it gets to that point where it's like oily, then I know that I'm done. So take this.
More or less acidic than water spot remover?
Less acidic than water spot remover, but it has that component to break down the water spots that are in it. So I would say, you know, again, like with water spot remover acid, the thing is like once it sits and dwells on the surface for a little while, it will start etching. So you don't want this glass polish to sit on here for an extended period of time. And so I'm going to go over this chrome as well. And I'm really just kind of using the weight of my hand. I'm not pushing as hard as I can. Really what you want to do is let the product kind of do the work. So it's a matter of not as much of, you know, how hard you push, but more about how many times you go over the surface. Get down here as well. So you can see as I go over this glass now, it's like the polish isn't really even there anymore. So you can see it a little bit, but as it thins out, that's when I know it's sort of time to wipe it off. So I think that's about right. So let me grab, I like to use the edgeless utility towel. The edgeless utility towel is kind of more designed for interior, but this is the towel. I just like it. It sort of finishes the glass really, really well. So take this and wipe this off.
How does glass polish differ from ceramic glass coating? Well, it's a rep more of a
Yeah, so the glass polish I think is more intended for it's like an appearance type of thing. So yeah, like Kai is saying it perfect. Like sometimes with your glass, you know, even if you clay it, it will still look a little hazy and you'll still have some water spots left over. And so the glass polish really is something that if your glass isn't looking perfect like you want it, use the glass polish to get it nice and crisp. That's insane.
Yeah, that does insane.
But
like argon.
And on this chrome, I mean, it's like it just transformed this chrome on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I since we've come out with this and when we were testing it, I was oftentimes before I would put the graphene ceramic glass coating on, which I have right here, you know, I would clay it and it would still look a little bit hazy, or there might be some leftover water spots that have developed onto the surface that the clay bar doesn't remove. So I would do glass polish first to get it looking like this. And then once I've done this part, then I can move into doing the graphene ceramic glass coating.
You can see the difference in trim.
Yeah, the trim really is like one of the best things. So yeah, like chrome, if you have like water spots like you do on this car on the chrome, glass polish is the right product to remove that.
So this is kind of what the window used to look like.
Yeah, exactly. And even like if I wipe this off, you can still see.
Yeah, see all this? No. Boom.
Yeah, it looks great. The rain, it started trying to rain right now. So glass polish right there, I mean, it's amazing. And then, you know, getting into, then you take your glass polish. So like, you know, mainly you'd probably be doing the windshield, but I like to use this on the side glass as well. So taking our graphene ceramic glass coating, and now I can really work this in. And you notice I didn't need to do like a surface prep spray. I just go straight over the surface with the coating. And I think what the cool thing is after I put this on, you know, you'll really be able to see, once I start spraying this down with the hose or with the pressure washer, you'll see the effect of what this glass coating is going to do after we even do the glass polish. So just need a little bit more to get this back section. So glass polish, I mean, pretty creative name, but it's pretty straightforward, you know. And I think the things you have to really understand is that you don't use it with a machine, and you can't use it on the inside tint. So if you're glad, you know, if you have an old school fishbowl type of car that doesn't have any tint on it, you can absolutely use it on the inside. But like I was saying before, generally on the inside glass, you're not really getting the type of damage that you would get on the outside, because the outside is more exposed to the elements, it's more exposed to hard water, and so glass polish is better intended for the outside. So don't get too caught up with, oh, I need to use it on the inside. The inside, Brilliant Glaze is by far the best like glass treatment you can do on the inside. And in the video actually that we released yesterday on this, I treated the inside of all the glass with Brilliant Glaze before I started the process, because once you start doing this and it provides a clarity, if your glass on the inside is dirty, you'll 100% notice it. So I like to treat the glass on the inside first with Brilliant Glaze, then I do my glass polish treatment on the outside, put the protection on, and boom, you're protected, you're perfect, your glass is gonna look amazing. And even the graphene glass coating even amplifies the clarity. Like you'll see when I wipe this off. I mean, it's about as perfect as you can get glass when you're trying to get it to look good, you know, so.
And then this is plastic.
Yeah, like this is plastic and
You don't
rubber.
have to worry about plastic.
No, so like
glass polish.
the interesting thing with glass polish is it doesn't really, if you let it sit for a long time, it will get chalky. But, you know, one thing I've noticed is as I'm using the glass polish, even if it gets on the rubber or plastic, it tends to wipe off perfect every time. So, so yeah, I don't really get too worried about it, because, you know, almost every car has rubber seals here for the windows, you know, so you don't get water on the inside. But yeah, what I've noticed, and you can see, I went over all of this, the glass polish does not make it chalky. I think it's a different kind of abrasive than we use in our compounder polish. And so the compounder polish will stain this. It makes it turn white. Then it's harder to wipe off. Then you need to clean it with tire and rubber cleaner. Glass polish doesn't really do that.
That's
so
what Ken was
yeah.
asking to stain.
Yeah. So there you go, glass polish. Any more questions around glass polish? I'll start spraying this car down. And I was like, why is the water coming out of this? Got to put the plug in, you know? But yeah, I'll start spraying this car down, get to washing it, and then if you have more questions on glass polish, I'd be more than happy to answer any of those questions. But again, for like the third time, do not use it with a machine and don't use it on tint. But again, on the inside glass, my recommendation is Brilliant Glaze all day. It's the best product for that.
No wait time on it either. It's kind of just buffing it in and then wiping it.
Yeah, and I would say because that is a great point. With the acid in it, you don't want it sitting on the surface for an extended period of time. So with the glass polish, it's recommended that you work one panel at a time, and when you get to the windshield, just do one half and then do the second half after. And actually, because this is one of our employees' cars, she works in production, I probably should just make this look better to be a nice person, you know, because that's what you're supposed to do. So let me just I'll just do all of this, no big deal.
Pretty quick.
Yeah. I think I used too much here, Kai. It's all right. I didn't think it was supposed to rain today.
Yeah, it's a light trickle. It'll pass.
How are people feeling about it, Kai?
I think it's all the questions are kind of making it sound like it might be a complicated product, but it's really not. I think it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And not too dangerous.
No, definitely not too
dangerous. Just asking about that stuff.
Yeah. Just go through here. I haven't tried it on these B pillars, so I'm kind of interested to see what it does there. We'll wipe this off.
So you just put it up, rubbed it in. Now, I don't know if they can hear me.
They can. Yeah, so I put it on the applicator, use it by hand, go onto, then take an edgeless utility towel after, wipe it off, and the glass is perfect. So, and also I'm using it on the chrome trim here because the chrome trim was extremely water spotted, just like the glass. So go there. That looks great. Okay, so then when you get into the windshield, I like to pull these up, and then let me grab, just need something simple. Here we go, I'll just use some detail spray, clean the windshield off a little bit.
How many vehicles do you think that will last?
That glass polish will last a long time. You could probably do 5 vehicles with it. And a little bit goes a long way. Like, you don't need to overuse it, you know.
It's a note that you're cleaning the glass first, too.
Yeah, I'm cleaning this glass first because her windshield was way more dirty than the side glass. And actually, this windshield, it really isn't that bad, to be honest with you. But just to be a good standing citizen, I'm not going to rub it in on this one. I'll do it on here. So again, applicator. I like to outline it most of the time, and then I will.
Some Holly Torres.
Yeah.
Residential. It seems like it might work for residential glass too.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I haven't done it yet, but it was definitely like in my thought of, like, I have all glass shower at my house, and you know, that's definitely like a problem in certain areas where you get hard water spots on your glass in your shower just from using it, you know. So this is something I'll probably, you know, I'll have this in my detailing product cabinet in my house, but definitely something that I will end up bringing inside, and treating the glass on the inside as well of my house, you know.
Outside glass too.
Yeah, you're outside. Like, I know the last time you know, get like the cobwebs near your outside lights, like, I just blasted my whole house down with the pressure washer, and so you know, on my windows I have some water spots on there, so I'll probably treat all my glass with this. And I probably could do my wife's car, my car, and all of the exterior glass in my house as well. So that actually, you know what, crazy, Kai, that like it added some clarity to that. It's very crisp. You can see all of her rosary beads right there, which is pretty nice. I'll do this side. So what I want you to notice is I did the back driver's side glass, then I did the front driver's side glass, and I did half of the windshield, and I went and wiped it off, you know. So I didn't like go and start doing this side while I left the polish on there. I ended up wiping it off first because I don't want the acidity in the glass to sit on there for too long. So just make sure when you're doing a glass polishing process that you work in sections of total completion. So, you know, like here, I completely wiped off the polish on the driver's side windshield, and now what I'm going to do is treat the passenger side, polish the passenger side, and then we'll wipe it off. The interesting thing is, like, as I first wipe this, it's like my applicator is dragging on the surface. And then once I go over it a couple more times, it becomes extremely slick and smooth. And I think that's just, you know, I didn't clay this first, so it could be pulling off, you know, paint overspray, things like that, water spots, all that kind of stuff. The one thing this will not fix is pitting in your glass. Pitting is not, you need to get your windshield replaced if you have bad pitting.
And someone just asked about side mirrors. They have really bad, what is it, spider web scratches?
Okay.
Depending on how deep.
Yeah, depending. Someone asked about spider web scratches, like we like to call them swirl marks, but somebody asked about that on their mirrors, on their side mirrors. And yeah, I think Kai hit the nail on the head, which is depending on how severe those scratches are, determines if this glass polish will remove them. So, you know, I can't, it's hard for me to say, yeah, you should buy this because it will work, because I don't know the actual condition of it, but you know, it's probably worth a try. I would say on that, what I would recommend trying first is if you have the machine polisher, like the mini, meaning the, not the micro, but the mini, which is the 12 millimeter Pro or the standard 12 millimeter with the 3-inch pad. I would try that first, and then if that doesn't remove the scratches, then, you know, look into getting some glass polish and doing that on your side mirror. So,
should you clay your windshield before?
yeah, I think good, like, standard practice would be to clay before, but I think because this has an abrasive in it, you know, it's not an unnecessary step, but I would say you wouldn't necessarily have to do it, because the glass polish really, like, removes a lot of the abrasive in it, really removes a lot of the junk on there. So yeah, I'd say maybe clay first, and then, and oftentimes if you clay it, it will remove even some of the water spots. So, you know, start with the clay process first, and if it makes your glass look perfect and clear, you don't even need to do the glass polish. But, you know, what I imagine is it's not going to fully remove everything you're trying to achieve, and so you'd want to do the glass polish treatment as well.
They want us to shoot hoops and see who's better.
Oh, you don't even want to know. I am by far the best basketball player in the building.
I'm a sleeper though.
Not against Joe. I'm gonna stick to it as well.
For anyone new who joined, we're wrapping up glass polish, and then we're gonna talk about rinse aid.
We did a grand opening for our Arizona store like quite a few years back. We had like the whole team out there, and so instead of booking individual hotel rooms, we just rented a big, huge, like mansion style house in Arizona. They had a basketball court in the back, and I think everyone was pleasantly surprised that I can't miss.
Yeah, sure. Would you say that the glass polish is in between clay and machine polish?
Yeah, kind of. It's different because it has the acidity factor to it. So, you know, the clay and the machine polish don't have that element. And so what the glass polish ends up doing is it's using a chemical reaction to help break down the water spots that are on the surface. But then the abrasive comes back right behind it and polishes it to make your glass look super clear, like just really, really great clarity to it. So it's similar, but it's very, very much different in its own right because of the contents that are inside of the glass polish. So yeah, I don't get too caught up with like comparing it to another product because, you know, glass, the thing about glass is it's such a different substrate than, or different surface than like your paint. You know, your paint's a lot softer than glass because glass is generally made out of ceramic, you know, so glass is very porous, but it doesn't react all that great to being machine polished, you know. So with glass, you need to be a little bit more, you need a different kind of chemistry to really break it down. So the abrasive's different, but also the acidity element to it really helps sort of break down what's on the glass, and then the abrasive in it then finishes it perfect. And so so I'd say it's like kind of similar, but it's not, it's completely different altogether. This feels so much better. I mean, when I was wiping the detail spray off, this was just so sticky and everything just kind of, you know, my towel wouldn't be gliding. And now when I wipe this off, it's just, I mean, the towel is like, it won't even stick on the surface, you know, so much better. And so the surface tension is a lot less now. So what that means is water and you know, liquid type of contents that get on here are just going to beat up and fall off. So a lot better surface alteration for sure. Like, just, gosh, that is incredible.
You need to sell toilet paper to clean up your BS.
Yeah, you should. Hashtag Charmin, huh?
Hey,
All right.
we're so close to 200 people in here. Go tell your friends.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So there you go. Glass polish. Did everything for that. Now we'll move on to the rinse aid. So when I'm using rinse aid, let's see.
Let's show them how flat this thing is.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll notice on the paint, it's going to be extremely flat. On this glass, I forgot to treat that glass, so that's fine, but I'll do it after I'm done. But actually, I probably don't even need to do it because you'll see a difference when I use rinse aid. So you'll see we treated this with the graphene glass coating, same with the windshield, but check out the water behavior on here. So very, very flat. So it's just fine, okay? Because once we do the rinse aid, it's gonna make it look a lot better. And to be honest with you, I think I have some inside, but I would, best practice when you're using rinse aid is to clay the car first, because you want every possible contamination off of it. Look at that graphene glass coating. That's pretty amazing.
Glass coating.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that the cool thing about the glass polish is that if you do the treatment of glass polish before, it really creates like a more uniform surface. And then when you put the coating on top, it just makes it perform that much better. So, you know, we haven't updated it yet, but I imagine here pretty soon, we'll update our I mean, this is something I'm going to suggest to R&D and our sales team, but you know, if we could have a 4-ounce glass polish that you use before you put the coating on every single time, it's going to make the glass coating perform just that much better. Okay, so now I'm gonna foam the car down really quick, and then we'll just
foaming,
quickly
just
wash
washing
it.
first. We're
Yeah,
not
so you want
washing with it.
so with rinse aid, the process is rinse the car off, then you want to foam the car down. And like I was saying, I have this full concentration, full strength mega foam in here, but I've turned the dial at the top all the way counterclockwise. So when you watch this come out, it's almost like barely a mixture of soap. So there's like barely any foam, if you can see that. So what I like to do is get kind of my fan to where I want it, and then the dial up top, shoot it from like back here. So it's almost like water coming out of here. As I start turning this dial up, you'll see the soap starts to come out. So I can have the soap be just a little bit of soap like that, or I can turn it more, and then it's like crazy mega foam. So that's how I like to use my foam cannon. It ends up not pulling as much soap out of the canister. So, you know, you'll notice, like, you can see where the level is. Right now it's about 20 ounces. And you'll see when I'm done using the mega foam, I barely will have used very much of the soap itself.
So yes, it's straight mega foam in the cannon, and then we're getting a water supply just from the hose. For everyone who's just joined, we're doing rinse aid.
So foam down, put a little bit of suds in there, so you can see I said I had it at about 20. I used about 1 ounce of soap because I was diluting it out of the foam can. So I always like to turn the dial back to only pulling water once I'm done with it. So once I'm done with that, I'll take my pressure washer tip, make sure it doesn't come shooting out, and then I'll set this aside. Actually, I need to generate the suds in here.
$200 pressure washer budget? Which one do you think?
$200 pressure. I would get it on a sale, and I would probably.
Sales a lot.
Yeah, we do have sales a lot, but for that budget, I'd probably recommend the Adams Polish's pressure washer 2.0. It has pretty good specs on it. I think it has like 1.6 GPM, which is gallons per minute, and then it pumps out 1,300 PSI. So like the mixture of PSI and the GPM, sort of for like your beginner pressure washer, I think is like really good, you know. We have a lot of options when it comes to pressure washers. We even have a smaller one that is more like 1,100 PSI and 1.3 GPM. It's just, I mean, literally it's so small that you could put in your cabinet in your home. So, so that's another good option. But, you know, I think you sort of have to make a decision as to, you know, is PSI more of your priority? Is GPM more of your priority? We have the Active 2.0, which is another really small unit. That one's pretty good. It puts out, you know, more GPM at 2 gallons per minute, 2 GPM, but the PSI is, you know, around like 900 to 1,000. So I think for me, like my personal preference is more around a mixture of, you know, a decent amount of gallons per minute or GPM, and then, you know, a little bit more PSI. I think in my mind, I feel like the PSI, a little bit more PSI at like 1,300 or 1,500 blasts more of the dirt and grime off. So that's kind of why I like that. But yeah, I'd say, you know, you have a lot of options. Look at the specs, kind of find the best mixture of GPM and PSI. And then, you know, whatever decision you make is going to be a good decision, because pressure washer is just the ultimate tool for washing. It does the most work. If there's, you know, if you ask Adam or I what's like the most important tool or most important thing you need for a good car wash, it's a pressure washer. So And just so you know, like we've launched a lot of videos recently on YouTube, and anytime you see us washing, we're using that Adams Polishes 2.0 pressure washer. So if you want, you can go watch some of those videos and really get a sense of performance.
2,000 PSI too much for washing cars?
2000's pretty high up there, you know. I mean, I don't think it's too much, but any higher than that, I would, you know, recommend against a little bit. But the reason why is, you know, if you have a car that has PPF on it, you know, and there's like this car right here, like right here has PPF. So I imagine like from here back, there's PPF. If I have too much PSI, I'll actually start to peel this up. It will actually start to peel it up. So too much PSI is not good, but you know, like our pro grade pressure washer is 1.8 GPM and like about 1800 PSI, kind of ranges between 1500 and 1800. That is like, that's my favorite. I feel like, you know, I don't necessarily like feel like I'm missing out on that extra 0.2 GPM. I think like 1.8 is great, but having it at 1500 to 1800 PSI is like, it's just enough power that I can like blast enough stuff off and feel like I'm doing a decent amount of work. So, so yeah, if you get into like the 2500, 3000, it's just like way too much. Plus generally those utilize a gas powered motor, and it just, your neighbors will hate you if you have a gas powered motor. These like this is, I don't even think this is released yet, but this is active 2.3. I think we have on our website like a pre-order type of thing going on. But the nice thing about electric pressure washers is like when I pull the trigger, the motor runs. When I stop, it stops running. So it's just not, first off, not annoying to you, but also not annoying to your neighbors. So, so now, right now, so I have the soap on here. I went through and washed it. I don't think I need to clay it actually. I think it was just mainly like dirt that was on there. But the paint's feeling like really dry. Like you can hear it, like, you know, so very dry paint. But before I even like jump into actually rinsing the car off, it's safer to have the soap on here than it is to have hard water, because our soap neutralizes the hard water, so it eliminates water spots. And the thing about our high quality car soaps, Mega Foam, car shampoo, all of them, is that even if the soap dries on the surface, when you rinse it off, it rinses off perfect. So I am like zero worried right now. This soap will not stain the car. So I'm kind of like, I'm in the safe mode right now. So before, like if I start blasting this car off with water, hard water spots are developing instantly. So I want to take my time to get my rinse aid ready, all that stuff before I actually put water on this. And I have the car parked, so it's like in the direct sunlight. And so if I start blasting this off, water spots instantly. So I have extra foam cannon with 30 ounces of water. So with this, you're going to use about 3 to 4 ounces of the rinse aid out of the bottle, putting it into the, let me find my numbers really quick. So you won't be able to see it, but so I'm about to go halfway up to the 35. So right about there is about, I think I did about 3.5 to 4 ounces. Okay, so put this on here, shake it. Okay, so because I diluted the rinse aid into my foam cannon, I don't need to worry about the dial. I just put it all the way at full power because I don't have it fully concentrated of rinse aid in here. I have it diluted already for myself. I already measured it out and everything. So full power there. And then what I'm gonna do as well is get water into my dilution bottle, and I'll pour some of this out. So it's about there, I'd say, maybe a little bit more. Now, the dilution ratio for rinse aid is 1 to 9. Okay, so and I'm diluting this into a 16-ounce bottle. Go ahead.
Real quick. So there's two two methods.
Yeah, two delivery methods. I'm going to show you that right now. So one delivery method is use it out of a foam cannon. The second delivery method is spray it onto the car. And I'm going to show, I'll start with the spray it onto the car first because I want to show you how I like to control, avoid getting water spots. So if I just blast this whole car off with water, water spots start developing. And also once I get the rinse aid on there, it has a chance to streak because the protection agent in it will dry on the surface. And so there's a way that I can control how I rinse the car off to avoid from getting water spots. And actually that brings up a good idea, which is this. I need to have my drying towel ready.
Our protection against water spots is the dry soap.
Yep.
Which is like, has a film now over the car.
Yep, the soap is dried on the car, but I'm okay with that because it will rinse off perfect and the soap neutralizes the water. So
and then spring.
Yep. So really quick, I'm just gonna, really quick. So I was talking about the dilution ratio. So rinse aid is a 1:9 dilution ratio, and I'm diluting it into a 16-ounce bottle. And so the way that I liked, or the way that I found is the best way to calculate your ratio to understand how much is you essentially add your dilution ratio together. So 1 to 9, you do 1 plus 9, which equals 10. Then you take the 16 ounces of the amount of fluid you're diluting and you divide it by that 10. So the 1 plus 9 equals 10. So 16 divided by 10 is 1.6. And what we learned is that our caps are about 0.4 ounces. Okay, so I know that if this is 0.4 ounces, 0.4 times 4 is 1.6. So all I need to do is add 4 capfuls the best I can, which I'll just be honest right now, I'm not great at doing this. So
it's not exact science either.
Yeah, there's one. And if you're, if you're at 1.3 or you're at like 1.4, 1.5, 1.7, I think you'll be just fine. Those points of ounces aren't going to overly affect the performance of it. So I probably have not very much because I keep spilling it, which is normal for me. So I just did like a half cup full at the end. Okay, so take my rinse aid, put it like that. And actually I didn't grab a sprayer, so I'll just take the H2O garden gloss sprayer really quick and blast this off with water. And then I'm even going to set this inside the water here, and I'll spray it to try to get as much of the H2O garden gloss out that I can. So that's just fine. So I'll put this sprayer in here.
I'm sure we'll talk about the difference between rinse aid and H2O.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the difference. 100%. So if I had a Sharpie marker, I'd write Adams Polish's rinse aid diluted 1 to 9. But I don't have a Sharpie right now. So I have this is locked and loaded. So I'm going to spray some out of here, just like that. And then I hang it on my pocket so I'm ready. So the way I like to do this.
So that's the diluted bottle, 16 ounce. And then
that has rinse aid in it, about 4 ounces of rinse aid in the foam cannon. So I'm going to start with the dilution bottle first. So what I want you guys to do while you watch this is kind of figure out which method you like the best, but also what I would say is it's not a either or, it's a when do I use this delivery method. So right now I'm in direct sun. The sun's right there, it's beaming on this side of the car. So if I end up rinsing this whole side of the car, I run the risk of getting water spots because the sun's gonna bake, it's gonna evaporate the water and then the water spots will go on there. So for me in this instance, I will go section by section, rinse it off, treat it with rinse aid, dry that section off, and then move to the next section. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'll start on this rear panel here and I'll do this door and that's it. Just these two right here. So instead of blasting it this way where it's gonna go on the rest of the car, I'll stand over here and I'm gonna rinse the soap off. So get this straight. So rinse the soap off. And again, this process we're doing is on a non-protected vehicle. So it has no coating, has no sealant, has no wax, it has nothing. It's just straight up the clear coat of the car, okay? And it doesn't feel too bumpy like I was saying before. It's just, this car's been neglected. So it doesn't have anything on the surface making the surface tension lower or whatever. That's what I can do with this. So now that I've rinsed the car off, I take my diluted rinse aid in the bottle, and now I start spraying this on. And literally when I spray it, you can see it starts to work. So spray this on here.
Instant beads.
It's really cool to watch. And I'm known amongst the Adams community to use too much product, but it's all right. I just like doing it. Okay, so now I'm gonna let it sit for about 10, 15 seconds. Doesn't have to be like too...
That's crazy. It's so flat.
Yeah. So I'll kind of wait to this 40 mark on seconds. Got about 10 more seconds. Orange and black on the watch for my San Francisco Giants. Okay, now I can rinse it off. So now I blast this, you'll notice a surface change, okay? There you go. So now we're protected. Now the reason why we called it rinse aid is because it makes my rinsing of the car a lot easier, because it's sort of like makes the rinsing easier, but it also makes my drying easier because there's less water on the car. A lot of the water's falling off because of the bead, because of the beading. So as I do this, so now with this water on the surface, it's like I'm working against time because I'm potentially can get water spots. So what I can do is take my drying towel now. So my Ultra Plush towel, which is my favorite drying towel. And I like to use this by folding it. Ugh.
Will this be offered in gallon form?
I don't know if it will be offered in the gallon. Not right now, but hopefully eventually, because...
If you guys like it enough.
Yeah. So see that, right? One swipe of the towel, it instantly dries the car because there's just not as much water on there. So go in the section I treated with the rinse aid, I dry off, because I'm not going to blast this down again with rinse aid because I'm already done with it. And just by the way, this section over here I haven't rinsed off yet. There's still dried soap on there. So what I'm doing is controlling getting these water spots, because I'm treating it with rinse aid and I'm working section by section. And that's the beauty of being able to dilute it into a spray bottle. But next, what I'll show you is what it looks like when you hit it with the foam cannon. So I hope that was, helpful in the way that we presented it in that way as far as the dilution. So now when you feel this car, it is, can you feel that, guy? That's insane. It's so slick.
Yeah, it's nice.
I would say the surface feeling after you use rinse aid, it feels a lot like Slick and Slide. Slick and Slide provides an extremely slick surface, and Slick and Slide is more of a polymer sealant, more in line with H2O Garden Gloss, but the rinse aid has a touch of ceramic in it. So what that little touch of ceramic in there does is it allows you to use it with a ceramic coated vehicle. So if you're interested to see the surface, how it reacts on the surface of a ceramic coated vehicle, I just recommend going and checking out the video we released yesterday for this product. And in that video we did another red Lexus like this that was flat just like that, but we also did Tyler Roberts's truck, which has been it's been treated with graphene ceramic coating spray advanced. So the thing about Tyler's truck is, even though the coating was on there, it was sort of like, it was kind of getting to the middle of its life. So some of the water beating wasn't as abbreviated, or not abbreviated, but it wasn't as obvious as, you know, it was on the top part. So the bottom section was starting to get a little flat. We used a rinse aid on it, and boom, it was like, I've never seen something bead water like that before. So really cool product. And again, that's one of my favorite ways to do it with the spray bottle, is because I can really control, you know, avoiding getting water spots. So I'll set this aside now. So done with the diluted spraying method for rinse aid. And now what I'll do is I'm gonna now rinse pretty much the rest of the car. I'll even go over the surface so you can see. So, but what I'll do is I'll rinse most of the car. We'll hit the whole thing with the foam cannon, or like at least this half of it, because I didn't wash the other side, and then hit it with the foam cannon. As I take my foam cannon off and go, I'll kind of be counting alligators or Mississippis in my head. When I get to 15 to 20, then I just rinse the rest of the car off and then dry it really quick. So this is the side that hasn't been treated at all. So again, you can really see how flat the surface is compared to the surface we treated here.
That's crazy.
Isn't that cool?
So rinse aid.
I don't know, Kai. I feel like we should make a solo video right now, because that's crazy, man.
Rinse aid.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's another reason why I love this product so much. So I'll rinse the soap off of this car.
I think this is gonna replace that, a good, not replacement, but a graphene boost.
You know,
I would say replacement.
it's like a good question, but the thing about graphene boost is it's extremely concentrated with reduced graphene oxide and silica, which is just, it's like the ultimate maintenance product for graphene ceramic coating. And I kind of recommend using graphene boost, like a treatment of that, every like 6 months. And I've talked about using graphene boost in a similar manner like this, but the best way to put graphene boost on your car is to actually wash your car, dry it, then once you have it inside, out of the sun, is a spray and wipe application. And even to the point of spraying it only into your towel, applying it to the surface and taking a separate dry towel and then wiping it off. So I would kind of give graphene boost more of a treatment type of narrative than I would a, you know, quick add some protection to the car. So rinse aid this is intended to be like very easy. And I think the cool thing about rinse aid is sort of weighs on both sides of like a maintenance kind of product, but also for somebody that doesn't want to put a ceramic coating on their car and they just want the easiest way to protect it, you know, either using rinse aid or H2O garden gloss are two really, really great ways to do this in a really, really easy, efficient manner. You know, this is intended to be fast and quick and all that. So, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll hit this with the rinse aid and the foam cannon. So I'm gonna shake this again. Again, about 4 ounces of the rinse aid inside of this foam cannon.
So that was a question earlier too. The 16 ounce is concentrated. So whether you do it in this 16 ounce or in a spray form or the foam cannon, it's both.
They're both diluted, yeah. And I diluted this 1 to 9. Okay, so 1 to 9 is 4 capfuls of rinse aid into, you know, about, I don't know, 14.6 ounces. Okay, it doesn't really, I mean, I didn't even measure like how much water I put in there. I filled it up to a certain point, and then I put 4 capfuls of rinse aid into this dilution bottle. In this, I filled the canister up to the 30-ounce mark, and then I added up roughly 4 ounces of rinse aid to this by just like pouring it in and watching it fill up to the top. So
it's hard to see on camera, but our foam cannons have
yeah, they have
measurements on there. I
measurements
can't
on here. Yeah.
really-
I think it has milliliters on one side and ounces on the other. I tend to use the ounces one because it's just easier for me to understand. So now when I pull this, I have my fan kind of the right way. So when I pull this, you'll see as it goes onto the car, it almost looks milky. It doesn't foam at all. So you can see the milkiness of it. And also, like right away, you see the water beading effect essentially working right when it hits the surface, which is amazing. So with this method, doing it out of the foam cannon, you're not working section by section. You're kind of just hitting. I kind of still do like one half to another. Okay, so once I have that on there,
Hold on, let me wipe the camera off.
sorry. Now, as I get my stuff, I'm kind of 5 Mississippi, 6 alligator, 8 Mississippi, 9 alligator, 10 Mississippi, 11 alligator, 12 Mississippi, 13 alligator, 14 Mississippi. I can't, listen, Mississippi and alligators, I think, go together. Probably more Florida than it would be Mississippi, but I'm about 20 seconds now probably. So now what I can do is rinse the car off. And you'll see, feeds water like crazy. So whether you do it out of the diluted bottle form or you do it out of the foam cannon application method, it's still gonna perform about the same. And again, at the beginning of this live, we did glass polish and graphene ceramic glass coating on here, so this will probably be even that much more amplified.
Would you say rinse aid is best to be applied every 1 to 2 washes versus every 4 for H2O?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's kind of similar, like, you know, every 3 to 4 washes, you know. And I think also that kind of depends on how much you wash your car. So if you wash your car twice, you know, once a week, then, you know, maybe every once a month when you do your wash, you do this rinse aid application. You know, that's kind of how I like to think about it. And that's sort of I'm not as crazy as Adam, and I'm not retired like that guy. I didn't, you know, build a company and sell it. So I have a job and I have kids. So my time for washing isn't as available as someone like Adam. Adam washes his cars twice a week, no matter what, sometimes 3. And so for me, I'm more of a once a week kind of person. So, you know, once a month, I'll do either one of these treatments. So, so there you go. That's rinse aid out of the foam cannon like that. And, you know, I would say, like, the one thing about the foam cannon section, the foam cannon thing is that, you know, this is my soap foam cannon. And like I said, I put it full concentration. If you only have one foam cannon, then dilute your soap. Just put like 3 ounces in. And then when you end up using this full strength, you end up using more of the solution. So you can see on one half of the car, I used half of the rinse aid solution. It's hard to see, but it's about right here at the level. So if you do that with your soap, you'll end up using all of the soap solution in your foam cannon canister, and then you can rinse it out, dump it out, and then get it situated with your rinse aid, and then do that. But if you like to concentrate it like I do, then I recommend getting 2 foam cannons. Now, I will say this really quick. So what I like to do after I've rinsed the car like this, even with rinse aid on it, I like to use detail spray still as my drying aid, because detail spray slows the process down of water spots. So still I will go through and mist this, and detail spray doesn't have any protection agent to it at all, 0. I mean, it has it makes the surface a little bit more slick because it has silicone in it. But detail spray doesn't really make your car bead water like the way Rinse Aid does. So more of my angle here of using detail spray as a rinse aid is to slow the process down from getting water spots.
So you can dry.
So I can dry it. So now I take my drying towel again, and now I can dry the whole car off. And one thing I was gonna say earlier is like, I'm not working in smaller sections like I did when I used the dilution bottle. I'm doing essentially one half of the car. So once I'm done with this, then I'll move to the other side and do that half. And realistically, the way I would have done this is I would have started in the shaded side first. So I would have rinsed the car. I would have rinsed half of the car in the shade, hit it with the foam cannon diluted with Rinse Aid, and then rinse that off. And then when I'm done with that, I would come to this side, rinse it, hit it with the Rinse Aid, rinse it off, and then I would start drying or treat it with the detail spray drying aid, dry the sunny side of the car off, and then go dry the shaded side of the car off. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'll dry this off really quick so she doesn't get any water spots. And then what I'm gonna do so you guys can see a difference is I'll come on this other side and I'll show you the difference between H2O Garden Gloss and Rinse Aid, because that was definitely like one of the main questions we got on the YouTube video was, these are the same thing, and they're definitely not the same thing. And I want you guys to understand the difference.
And we'll also talk about, we'll rapid fire some other products that might feel close to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Graphene boost, H2O. Maybe second slide.
I hope this is helping to bring some clarity in like how you use the product, and also, you know, maybe in some instances like when you should be using it, how you should be using it. You know, I know our line can be confusing. And again, I think for us, innovation drives business. So, you know, I think Adams Polishes, you know, I think a lot of people be like, oh, you just release new products, it's a cash grab. You know, it's not, because I think anybody in business wants to grow. And so with Adams Polishes, it's like, it's less about how much money we can make. It's more about how can we make the process better for a customer.
And I think being detailers ourselves, we like to test different products, and we like to.
Yeah, we're always trying to refine the process.
And so when we release products, we rely on everyone who uses products too to see which one they like better.
And I'll just be honest, this product has been in the testing circuit through our company for about 8 months. So this isn't like someone brought us this magic potion and we're like, yep, we want to sell it. It's like we vetted this product so many different times. And honestly, we had a dual product RTU system that was called Foam and Seal, Foam 01, Seal 02. And this is similar to the Seal 02 thing, but we did away with the ready to use thing because it was like for our customers, you know, they wanted to use Seal 02 like this, where you're doing it every third or fourth wash, but they couldn't, because every time you use Seal 02, you would be out of the product in that time you used it. And so this Rinse Aid, we updated the formula to make it better and more compatible with ceramic coatings, but also make it more versatile in its delivery method. So now you can either do it out of a foam cannon, or just like the foam cannon was just like Seal 02, or you can do it by diluting it and using it as a rinse aid. So, or sorry, using it out of the dilution bottle to spray it on there. So
someone just, which we didn't really talk about, but
oh my god,
Nathan was saying wheels too.
Yeah, wheels too, definitely on the wheels it helps a lot too. But that feels incredible. I mean, cars don't normally feel like that.
Whoa, hey.
Okay, so really quick, let me just run on this side over here, and I'll just get like 2 doors washed, and I want you guys to be able to see the difference between how, I mean, look how dull this side looks. It looks like a muted red.
Yeah.
That side is like beaming. So,
Look at that, too.
yeah, look at that big old.
Are we okay on time, Ralph?
Yeah. Yeah.
We gotta get the car back to the customer.
Okay, so I might as well just do most of the rest of the car. I owe her some clean wheels. I didn't clean the wheels first. That's awful. Okay, so again, you can see how flat the surface is here, okay? And instead of foaming it, I'm just gonna go straight to the wash pad.
This has not really been a step-by-step on how to wash your car, more of a demonstration on
Rinse
how to
Aid.
use Rinse Aid.
And in the first half of this video was how to use glass polish.
Yeah.
So, and if you joined a little bit later, you know, once we're done with this, we post all of our live videos to our YouTube. So if you go to our channel page on our YouTube, first off, subscribe so you always know when we're live, and also when we release new products or release new videos as well. A lot of educational videos we do. But also, when you go to our channel page, you'll see there's kind of like a home page, but at the top there's tabs. And I think it goes videos, shorts, and then there's a tab for live. And if you click that tab for the live, it has all of the previous live videos we've done here on YouTube, which is quite a big library. We've been doing this for quite a few years now. So, you know, if you joined on this video a little bit later, you can go back to that live tab and then you can re-watch this and see the whole thing that we did. So
Right now we're what?
So right now what I'm doing is I washed this side of the car, and I want to show you the difference between how you use Rinse Aid versus H2O Garden Gloss. So rinse the car off. Actually, I'm just going to rinse this back portion off. Should I start with Rinse Aid first or H2O Garden Gloss? I'll let you pick, Ty.
Rinse Aid.
Rinse Aid. Okay, so I'll do Rinse Aid back here first. You want it out of the foam cannon? Which one do you want?
Spray bottle.
Okay, spray bottle. Diluted Rinse Aid in a 16-ounce bottle. Dilution ratio 1:9. So take it.
Instantly bead. Left the soap on the other side.
Because I'm trying to avoid getting water spots. Typical Joe using too much of the product.
Wheel.
Okay, let it sit for just a little bit. What's another one? 1 Florida, 2 alligator, 3 Florida, 2 alligator. I don't think that equates to a second if you say Florida. So alligator, I think it has to be 4 syllables. Mississippi, yeah.
Science.
Science. Man, only if Bill Nye was here right now. Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill. Okay, rinse it off. All right. Oh, that's incredible. You know, I think I don't, but I've been thinking about it, is starting a detailing business. And with a detailing business, you know, I think it's one thing to have customers come in and out, right? Like you bring them in for a ceramic coating, then you send them on their way. But if I was a business just like Adams Polishes, I'd want more touch points. So I would love to ceramic coat someone's car, but then like tell them to bring it back to me for maybe a once a month maintenance wash, to just like do it the right way. Because you really, with great ceramic coatings comes great responsibility. You need to treat them the right way. So if I was a professional detailer and I was having people come in once a month to do a maintenance wash, this rinse aid is something I absolutely would do to their car, because if you think this looks amazing as far as like water beading effect, like hydrophobic, when you apply the rinse aid to a ceramic coated vehicle, it is amplified that much more. Like it's incredible. So that's what I would be doing, because it's such an efficient process. And I'm gonna dry this off because I don't want to get water spots. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it on because I'm gonna use H2O garden gloss now. So that still has the water on it. Okay, with H2O garden gloss, you need 2 plush towels. And a little fun fact about Adams Polishes is that the borderless gray towel was actually introduced because of H2O garden gloss. We wanted a borderless plush towel, and these are gray because this product is gray. We made this so the color coordination between the gray H2O garden gloss and the gray towels went together. So little fun fact about H2O garden gloss.
So we just did rinse aid on
this side. So like rinse aid, the way that these are different, I'll show you here in a second, but rinse aid is like, I rinse the car off, it's not beating water like very much. I either spray it on with my dilution bottle in the spray bottle, or I hit it with the foam cannon where it's diluted, and then I rinse the car off and then I dry it. H2O garden, so I still have to use a drying towel to dry the water off, or pull it inside and use an air cannon to get the water off. With H2O garden gloss, let me rinse. So you can see the surface difference again. With H2O garden gloss, the way this is different is you have 2 towels. So one towel I keep dry, the other towel I get wet like that.
Maybe keep note how many things he has to hold right now.
Yeah. So with H2O garden gloss, you get this wet, but then you wring this out. Okay, so you want it to be more of a damp towel than a soaking wet towel. So like that. Okay, and then I fold this into panels. So I have 1 and then 2 like that. Okay. Now H2O garden gloss, I take and I spray 1, 2, 3, 4 sprays. But on the car, I work in sections. So spray H2O like this. And remember, I sprayed 4 sprays into the towel. And then what you do is now I wipe this in. Like so. So I'm kind of like applying this. I'm working it in. It's more about getting it onto the surface right now than it is to make it look perfect. Go over the black plastic.
I'm sure you guys might be able to guess the difference between the application here.
So using H2O garden gloss to get this onto all the surfaces. And now I can set my damp or wet towel aside. I take my dry towel and now I wipe it off and even it out. Like so.
If anyone has any last minute questions, start throwing them in so we can answer them in time.
So, I'll say it here in a second, but what is the major difference between H2O garden gloss and rinse aid? The thing is, with H2O garden gloss, it's an application with towels. But I'm done. I don't have to rinse that car again. H2O garden gloss combines protecting your car and drying it all at the same time. Okay, so as you can see, Rinse Aid, the water's still on there. So when I use Rinse Aid, after I've rinsed off, so many rinses, after I've rinsed off Rinse Aid, then I still need to pull it inside and dry it, okay? H2O Garden Gloss, I don't need to do that. I am done right now with H2O Garden Gloss. The other major difference between Rinse Aid and H2O Garden Gloss is that H2O Garden Gloss treats the black plastic, okay? Rinse Aid does not. So if you want to make your black plastic look jet black and amazing, like you can see it down there, H2O Garden Gloss is a better product for that. So H2O Garden Gloss, like if you have, like, not to tell you what to buy, but if you had a lot of black plastic like this, like I know a lot of Explorers have that and SUVs, I think H2O Garden Gloss is a better product for that because it's going to make all the black plastic and everything look just that much better. But the way the surface feels, like feel that, Kai, it feels almost the exact same. Okay, so as far as surface tension and you know, reaction to the water, whoops. Like H2O Garden Gloss kind of has to cure a little bit longer. The Rinse Aid beads water a little bit more, you know? So I would say like with H2O Garden Gloss, I think it's a good thing to do a treatment, you know, because you can get the black plastic looking great again, and then you can even use Rinse Aid on top of that. But for the most part, what you need to do as a consumer is choose what protection method you want, okay? So if you have a lot of plastic, H2O Garden Gloss is a great thing to do. You could even do that once a month, and then maybe 2 washes later, do Rinse Aid, you know? Or if you're a ceramic person, get your car ceramic coated or do it yourself, and then use Rinse Aid on top to help maintain it. So, you know, I would say that like H2O Garden Gloss for me, I think is a little bit more convenient as far as like combining the process, making it more efficient, because not only am I protecting it, but I'm drying it at the same time. Whereas Rinse Aid doesn't combine any steps. If anything, it adds an extra step, but it also adds a level of protection that, you know, it's similar to using like a CS3 or type of product, but the delivery method is extremely easy. So H2O Garden Gloss and Rinse Aid are very different in their application method. They're also different in their performance, but they can also work together really well. So I'm actually, even just for fun, as we kind of sign off here, I'm actually going to take the Rinse Aid in the foam cannon.
Real quick too, how does glass polish differ from Brilliant?
Glass polish differs from Brilliant Glaze because it's a designed abrasive for glass, and also it has an acidity factor to it. So it breaks down more of the hard water spots that have developed on the surface for longer. So I would say glass polish is much better for the exterior glass that has been neglected or has some damage to it, whereas Brilliant Glaze I think is more for the inside, because your inside doesn't take a beating like the outside does, right? Like you get more food residue and fingerprints. You don't get really water spots on the inside of your glass, you know, and even if you get caught in a rainstorm, rain doesn't cause water spots because it's filtered water out of the air. It's pure, it's like the purest form of water. So unless it's acid rain, but yeah, so Brilliant Glaze leave for the inside. If you have like a car that you take care of a lot, like a Garage Queen or a Hot Rod, you can still use Brilliant Glaze on the outside because you don't need to be as aggressive with a car that is maintained. Glass polish is more for a car that has hard water spots and has been neglected. So. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching our live video today. I hope, you know, I said it before, but I hope that, you know, this explanation of Rinse Aid and glass polish like helped the understanding of these new products we release. And again, I think for us, it's more of a process enhancement, a performance enhancement with something that makes car care easy, but still like performs in a good way, in a premium way. So yeah, you know, if you have more questions, you know, you can leave comments on both the product videos that were released on YouTube here, or you can always, you know, contact our customer service, 866-965-0400. You know, you can always ask me detailing questions too. I don't do well with suggesting what you need. More technical and process oriented, like educational questions are better for me, but I'm just Joe at adamspolishes.com. So if you have questions, you can always hit me up on there. And listen, I hope if you end up getting some of these products, you know, let us know what you think. Let us know how they're working, and you know, we're always excited to see, like, once it gets into our customers' hands, you know, how they're feeling about it. So, and again, we'll be live next week every Wednesday, unless I cancel it because I'm either golfing or skiing or taking a mental health day. But next Wednesday, live, 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and not sure what we'll do next week, but I'm gonna try to find something that's like a question we get a lot. So
We had a consistent 220 people in here. Let's say if we can hit 350 consistent viewers on a live, on one of our next lives, we'll do a giveaway.
yeah, we'll do a giveaway, like a cool giveaway. Not sure what it will be, but it will definitely be worth everyone's while. So
Tell your friends.
yeah,
We need 300, 350 people in here.
there you go. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next week.